Fine. Can you all see the screen now? Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Check.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so we will be discussing the biosphere reserves in India. Which are the biosphere reserves? Some biosphere
ये बाबा
reserves.
ये उधर फेंक रही है.
मुस्तफा, please mute yourself. एक तो म्यूट करके बात किया करो तुम. Okay. Fine. So biosphere is, we are going to discuss that which are the biosphere reserves in India. Some of the biosphere reserves are declared by the government of India, and some of the biosphere reserves are declared by the United Nations, or you can say UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Reserve Program. And what is the significance of those areas which have been declared by the biosphere reserve by the government of India, that will also be discussed. So coming to, we have already discussed what is the biosphere reserve. We have seen that the biosphere reserve is one of the important in situ conservation of the biodiversity. So the Indian government has established around 18 biosphere reserves in India, categorically as per the IUCN के हिसाब से अगर हम देखेंगे. So what is the biosphere reserve? This which protect larger areas of natural habitat than a typical national park and animal sanctuary. So we have seen the difference between the national park and animal sanctuary. So biosphere reserves are larger areas which have been, what we can say, protected to the protect the biodiversity in a larger context, a larger, what we can say, the ecosystem. So often include one or more national parks or preserves. So in biosphere reserve, there can be more national park along with buffer zones that are open to some economic uses. So we have seen what is buffer zone, that also we have already discussed. So in these biosphere reserves, that in the buffer zones and core zones and what we can say the external zones, so some of the economic activities are allowed in the buffer zones. So protection is granted not only to flora and fauna of the protected region. So this biosphere reserve is not only for the protection of the flora and fauna of the biosphere region, but also to the human communities. So human communities means we have seen, right? Do you remember? This is related to which topic? That we have seen that there is some act, there are some, what you can say, the rules which protects the rights of the people who are living in that forest areas, the rights of the tribal communities. Remember, we have seen that few questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the rights of the forest dwellers. To be precisely, you are right, Smriti. So the rights of the forest dwellers, right? So this biosphere reserve is not only for the protection of the flora and fauna, but also the protection of the rights of the human communities which inhabit in these regions and their ways of life, right? So as per the World Network, we can see that there are, what you can say, around 11 biosphere reserves out of the total 18 biosphere reserves which are protected by the government of India. Out of that, 11 biosphere reserves are the parts of World Network of Biosphere Reserves. So in the world also there are many such biosphere reserves. Out of that, 11 are from India. Total in India there are total 18 biosphere reserves. Out of the 18 biosphere reserves, 11 are listed into the World Network of Biosphere Reserves based on the United Nations, that is UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Reserve. So first I will discuss about what is this Man and Biosphere Reserve, then I'll come to the which are the biosphere reserves are listed in India, that we will discuss later on. But before that, first we will discuss what is this Man and Biosphere program, because questions have been asked in the past about this Man and Biosphere program of the UNESCO. So sometimes question can be asked to you that Man and the Biosphere Reserve program is, what you can say, is initiative of the United Nations, what you can say, the United Nations Educational, Social and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. The statement is correct or not, that can be asked, right? So first we will discuss about what is this Man and Biosphere Reserve, which is an international, what you can say, the initiatives, right? So I'm clicking on that. So we'll come to know what is this Man and Biosphere program, which is called as MAB. MAB is an intergovernmental scientific program. This is very important. Intergovernment means where the governments are involved in this, what you can say, the program, intergovernmental scientific program. It is not run by the NGOs. It is not run by the non-governmental organization. It is run by the governments, right? So it is an intergovernmental scientific program launched in 1971 by UNESCO that aims to establish a scientific basis for improvement of relationship between people and their environment. So what is the objective of that? Scientific basis for improvement of relationship between people and the environments. And as we have seen that human beings interact with the environments, and due to that interaction, due to that anthropogenic activities, there are there are some changes into the biosphere, there are some changes into the biodiversity, there are some changes into the climate and environment. So to study this whole, what we can say, the problem between the humans and the environment, so this program has been started in 1971 by the United Nations Educational, Social and Cultural Organization. That is what is the program started by the UN, you can say. UN's United Nations, what you can say, this UNESCO program is that. Got it? So the MAB works, engages with full international development agenda, especially sustainable development goals and what you can say the 2015 development agenda. So I'm going to discuss about this sustainable development goals in detail later on, and also post 2015 development agenda. This is as per the Paris Agreement. So I'm going to discuss about the sustainable development goals and the 2015 development agenda as per the Paris Agreement. That also I'm going to discuss with you in detail. But all of you got it? What is this Man and the Biosphere program? So that addresses the challenges linked to the scientific, environmental, societal development issues in diverse ecosystem. Right? We know that there are some issues related to scientific research, environmental problems, societal problems, and as well as the developmental issues. Because if you want to have a development, there can be what we can say harm to the environment. Because if you want to build a road, if you want to build what we can say buildings, if you want to increase tourism, if you want to what you can say increase the production, if you want to increase the food grain production, then obviously it will have some impact on the ecosystems. It will have some impact on what you can say the biodiversity. So how this problem can be solved, how to deal with this problem, that is what is the main objective of this Man and Biosphere program, which was started in 1971. Got it? So the main that is MAB combines the natural and social, economics and education. That it combines what? It combines the nature, social sciences, economics and education, because we need to know that we need to use these natural resources, we need to maintain the natural resources. At the same time, we need to have some social issues that can be what you can say studied from the social sciences. We also need to what you can say study the economics, because again the use of the natural resources leads to the economics, and also how we can educate the people about this what we can say the issues. That is what is important to improve the human livelihoods and equitable sharing of the benefits, and to safeguard natural and managed ecosystems, and thus promoting the innovative approaches to economic development that are socially, culturally appropriate and environmentally sustainable. So the main objective of this Man and Biosphere program is that to create such innovative approaches so that it will help in having an economic development which will be social and culturally appropriate. At the same time, it can be environmentally sustainable. So what is that environmentally sustainable? That also we have already discussed about it. Got it? So the program provides a unique platform for cooperation on research and development, capacity building, that we need to research, we need to have R&D, and we need to create capacity building and networking, because everybody is not having all the knowledge. So those people have the knowledge, which needs to what I can say connected with it with a network. So networking to share information, knowledge and experience on 3 interlinked issues. One is the biodiversity loss, then climate change and sustainable development. So it contributes not only the better understanding of the environment, but also promotes greater involvement of science and scientists in policy development concerning the wise use of biological diversity. Got it? So as of now, we can say that around 86 biosphere reserves in 122 countries, including 20 in transboundary sites. Transboundary means which will be having the two what you can say the countries at the border areas. So 20 transboundary sites have been included into world network of what you can say the biosphere reserves. Got it? So out of these 686 biosphere reserves, 11 are in India. So got it? What is why these 11 sites are in the India? Check. Coming back to the India now. Coming back to India, that out of what you can say that 686 international network of the biosphere reserves, 11 are in India, and government of India's total are 18, but India's which is recognized by the UNESCO Man and the Biosphere Reserve are 11. So which are those? It is mentioned here. One is called as Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, which is located in Tamil Nadu, Kerala. The year was 2000. This is not important. Year is not important. UPSC is not going to ask you when it was established or not. But you need to know these biosphere reserves are located in which states. That on that basis you will be able to find out some of the questions of the UPSC. So Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is located in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. So we can say it is interstate biosphere reserve, which is located in 3 different states in India. So Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, then Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, which is again located in Tamil Nadu, then Sundarbans, which are located in West Bengal, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, which are located in Uttarakhand, Nokrek Biosphere Reserve, which is located in Meghalaya, then Pachmadi Biosphere Reserve, which is located in Madhya Pradesh, then Simlipal Biosphere Reserve, which is located in Odisha, then Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, which is located in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, then Achankamar and Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve in the Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, which is again which is located in 2 states in India, Agasti Malai Biosphere Reserves, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, while Kanchenjunga National Park, which is located in Sikkim. So all these are the biosphere reserve which has been recognized by this World Network of Biosphere Reserve. So 11 out of the 18 are these, right? So you need to know about this, and we also need to know what is the significance or importance of all these biosphere reserves, which animals can be found in this biosphere reserve, and why they are significant biodiversity wise, right? So we go to down list of the biosphere reserves in India. So there are total 18, what you can say, the list. Out of this 11 we have already discussed now. So we will discuss which are there in India and what is the significance of these biosphere reserves. So here you can see that Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, which is in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, we have some national parks and we have some, what you can say, the bird sanctuaries and the wildlife sanctuaries. So Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is a part of the Wayanad, which is in Kerala, then Nagarhole, then Bandipur, which is located in the Karnataka, then Muddumalai, and then Nilambur and Silent Valley. Silent Valley is again located in the Kerala. So, but Nilgiri Biosphere, yeah, that is also located in Kerala. So, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve consists of all these, what you can say, the national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. That is Wayanad. So, if you want to know specifically what is the significance of Wayanad, what is the significance of Silent Valley, you can click here and we can check it out later on, because there have been some questions which have been asked in the on this particular topic. So we will see one by one. So this Wayanad is the eastern part of the former Malabar district, which is located in the Malabar part of the Kerala. Malabar coast, all of you know where is Malabar coast. Malabar coast is the what you can say, the western coast of the India. So in the eastern part of the former Malabar district is an Indian district of the northeast Kerala state with administrative headquarters at the municipality of Kalpetta. So that is what is mentioned here. So then second, Nagarhole is again located at the Karnataka, which is near the Bengaluru, I guess. Then which is also again the part of the Bandipur. So Bandipur Tiger Reserve is located in Karnataka. You need to know where the Bandipur is reserved. Bandipur National Park is specifically, what you can say, reserved for the protection of the tigers. So some tigers are found in this Bandipur National Park, which has been established in 1974 under the Project Tiger. Is a national park located in the Indian state of Karnataka, which is the state with second highest tiger population in India. You need to know, I guess recently there has been a census of the tiger, which has explained that the number of the tiger have been increased in the Bandipur National Park. Along with adjacent Nagarhole National Park is one of the premier tiger reserves in the country. So both Nagarhole and the Bandipur National Park are located side by side. Got it? So what is the significance of this Bandipur National Park? It is one of the national park of India which has one of the highest number of the tigers in India. Right? The next is Muddumalai. Muddumalai is again located in the Tamil Nadu. A sanctuary declared at the tiger reserves, lies in the northwestern part of the Nilgiri Hills. In the Nilgiri, it is about 150 kilometers. So that is the important here. Then next is Nilambur. Nilambur is the major town, municipality of and the taluk in the Malappuram districts of Kerala. It is located close to the Nilgiris and range of the Western Ghats. We need to know these are all located in the next Ghats. So this place is also called as the teak town by the many because of abundance of the teak plants in this, what you can say, in this area. So you need to know about this. Nilambur is known for the teak, what you can say, the plants which can be grown here. Okay? The next is Silent Valley. Silent Valley National Park is a national park in Kerala. It is located in the Nilgiri Hills again, which is surrounded by a buffer zone of 148 kilometers. The national park has some rare species of flora and fauna.